Twin Bill, where you can get your fill of hosts Jason and Marcus talking about movies and stuff. You know you never can get enough. A twin is two people who are related. Twin Bill. This season is Razzie Mania. Xanadu. Xanadu.
Something. Keep doing that, I guess. Yeah.
You can do it twice. I don't know the words, but it's a good song. Okay. Welcome to Twin Bill, Razzie Mania, Xanadu. That's going to be the official title on social media. We're going to talk about Xanadu. Before we dive into it, let's do a warm-up game. And these warm-up games are not written for Zoom calls, so it's going to be really, really boring. But imagine we're playing tag, and then you would say tag, and then I would show my hand with pretending I have a band-aid on it, and I do it to you. That's the game. It's called band-aid tag.
Band-Aid.
Yes. So you do it. Say pretend you're tagging me.
Tag.
Do with your hand.
Tag.
Oh, right here. Tag.
Ew, right here.
Yeah, they're not all winners. All right, let's get into it. Last week we talked about Can't Stop the Music in our first episode. By the end of this episode, we'll decide, not until then, but by the end of this episode, we'll decide which one truly was the worst of the two so far. Dun, dun, dun. But let's talk about Xanadu. Marcus, can you remember or solve the major connection between Can't Stop the Music and Xanadu related to the movie Grease?
Oh yeah, I read this. We didn't discuss last week.
I think we did.
Can't Stop the Music, I think, was originally conceived for Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, even there's two connections then. Mine's much more direct and trivia based.
I might be wrong, but go on.
You could be right. I don't know, but the actual in writing thing is Alan Carr and what's the guy's name or woman's name? Bronte Woodward co-wrote Can't Stop the Music, also co-wrote Grease, and Xanadu obviously stars Olivia Newton-John from Grease. All right. Feel free to interject during my explaining things as we go on, but let's talk about the breakdown of Xanadu. Okay, close this Slack chat apparently. Xanadu was directed by Robert Greenwald. Is that name familiar to you, Marcus?
Unfortunately, yes. From our college days, we watched some of his documentaries. And then who's this Robert Greenwald guy who's directing these mediocre liberal documentaries? I mean, I agreed with what he was point of view in those documentaries,
Yeah.
but they weren't well made.
Cheaply made and relatively unsuccessful. He's no Michael
And
Moore.
then what's he known for? And then wham! I definitely had heard of Xanadu at that point in my life, and he was the director of Xanadu. So
Yeah,
yes,
so just to clarify the point for the audience, directed, like Marcus was saying, sort of cheaply made, not super great interview guests, talking at documentaries on espousing liberal propaganda, which I'll like Marcus to agree with, but movies such as Outfoxed about Fox News and Walmart, high cost of low price. On the more artsy side, it's kind of on a TV movie quality, but relatively well regarded how early it was in its discussion of spousal abuse. It's a movie called The Burning Bed, starring Farrah Fawcett. So, some good came out of Robert Greenwald's career, but yeah. This movie was co-written by, first of all, love these three-person names. Richard Christian Danis, who has no major credits aside from Xanadu, but he did write for the TV drama Police Story, starring Dennis Farina as a basically same time period as The Untouchables. Dennis Farina, but would you have any interest in watching that show?
He's entertaining enough. Uh, I'd give it a shot. I wouldn't mind giving it a shot, I guess. I'm not interested in seeking it out.
2 seasons apparently. Wow. And then the other co-writer of Xanadu is Mark Reed Rubel or Rubel. There's only one L, so it's a little weird. Do you remember the name of the movie where Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler play two different sets of sisters who get mixed up at a hotel?
No, I remember this coming across our screens at some point in childhood, but I don't remember the name of the movie.
Got a pretty generic title because it's not just little business, it's big business.
No.
And then this movie is produced by Larry Gordon, who produced. Anyway, after producing Xanadu, he switched his producing career entirely. I was gonna make this trivia question, but whatever. He did 48 Hours, first two Die Hard movies, and the first two Predator movies as producer. None of which are like Xanadu. Okay.
Nope.
Yep. And then I was very surprised that good old Jeffy Lynn or ELO was not given sole responsibility for the score because it seemed like Jeff Lynne will be all over that. The score was actually by Barry Dvorzan, who did a bunch of random movies, but bonus B-movie cred for Night of the Creeps and Exorcist 3. Did you ever see Night of the Creeps?
I don't believe I have. Is that zombie or is that like critter?
Uh, it's sort of a mix. It's like alien-induced zombies. It's got that guy with the mustache from Halloween 3, Tom Atkins or something like that.
You say Halloween 3 like I've listened. Oh, his name sounds more familiar. Is he the guy in Creepshow?
Yeah, the one in the wraparound who gets murdered by his child, or not murdered, but stabbed or whatever. Yeah. The voodoo.
Remember shows on the podcast when you can.
Yes. In our archives. All right, but Night of the Creeps, definitely recommend. There's a very famous line where he says, "Your dates are here," and then she's like, "What's the bad news? They're dead." Great movie. Yeah. And then got ELO, which we'll talk a little bit more later on, I guess. Okay. It was incredibly complicated for me to summarize what I remembered about the character descriptions for the starring section. This movie is way more convoluted than there's any need to be. For example, this movie stars Olivia Newton-John as Kira, which is a pretty odd name to when your real name's was it Terpsichore? Terpsichore? How do you pronounce that?
Should plan this out, but I can't figure out well, the Terpsichorean is how you pronounce the adjective, right?
Yeah, it's probably not Terpsichore, but I don't know.
That's my guess. You think it's Terpsichore? I guess there's Terpsichore. It's like
Yeah, that's I don't know. Anyway,
great podcasting. Yeah.
great news. Don't knock until you tried it. All right. Yes, Kira, a woman who also attracts painters on her roller skates while secretly a Greek muse who enjoys roller skating on California beaches. This movie is weird. And then we have Gene Kelly, i.e., this person does not should not be in this movie. Gene Kelly as Danny McGuire, an old guy who likes to sit on a rock at the beach noodling on his clarinet and has very almost acid flashback like dreams of listening to Kira in World War II, and then decides to start a very expensive nightclub with a guy he met at the beach one day.
I mean, this whole film's not grounded in reality, so
And then Michael Beck, aka the pretty one from the Warriors, is Sonny Malone, a guy who paints album covers into larger dimensions for promotional events, a job that literally does not exist anymore. And got inspiration from Kira and fell in love with her, and also agrees to start a expensive nightclub with a rich old coot he met on the beach. And fun fact: there's a lot of muses shown in uh, way too many group shots on the beach and stuff. And one of those muses is played by Sandal Bergman. Are you familiar with that name?
no.
She was the female lead in Conan the Barbarian.
Nice.
Very nice looking, if I may say, blonde woman from B movies. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going to this now. Okay, we're gonna go into our classic film reader criteria. I made a new rule. See how it goes. So, after you say the thing, like like for example, I say talk about the concept, talk about the concept, and then afterwards give it a grade out of 10. Just throw it in there at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see the order. One, two, one, two. So yes, you can go first. Talk first about this in terms of whether I guess recommend it or if it's a positive for the movie. Blah blah blah. The concept, the core idea or premise of Xanadu.
Um, I don't know, concept's hard to describe. I guess the concept is, I don't know if this means for commercial for the movie, commercially for the movie. I guess it's commercially to, sh uh, it's a romantic musical drama to showcase Olivia Newton-John, um, and fantastical Broadway type elements throughout. Also part of the concept, I guess. Um, Concept is okay. We're practicing about concepts of movies are, but 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I go lower because a big underpinning of the concept they don't really they kind of explore sporadically is that she's a Greek muse and she hangs out with Zeus, and they have that weird laser roller skate dimension or whatever, and just seems very hastily contrived, and it sort of hurts the romance angle because they don't really put uh the guy Sunny and Kira on level playing fields for their romance, and that's kind of the point of the movie. Or is the point of the movie about the nightclub? It's like it's a two on raw concept. I think it gets better for other categories, which I'll go first on. Talking about the characters, do they develop and are they believable? It's one of those movies. Happens a lot with bad movies, where the characters are sort of are what they are. They're sort of like super positive. This movie's like a more bearable version of Can't Stop the Music in that way, in my opinion. And there's not a lot of change. There's not even a real like sort of like, oh, now they're together romantic thing at the end. So I think the movie's more entertaining than the characters are on paper. But I'll give the characters uh generic 5 out of 10 just for basic likability, but there's no thought towards making it make sense.
Um, it's agreeing on a scale a little bit because the whole movie's kind of crazy. But you're right. The whole Muse thing is confusing in terms of character because it's kind of want the audience to believe she's a woman with feelings. At the same time, she's this muse who's not allowed to have feelings,
Hmm.
just supposed to inspire art. She inspired Gene Kelly's big band and uh, Sonny's art, and then I guess it inspires Together their nightclub. Um, Sonny doesn't grow a lot as a. That's the only thing you're really focused on. Everyone else is very supporting, maybe even too stretched to call them supporting. Uh, Sonny doesn't really. I don't know if she grows. Just feels like kind of a bum artist looks into things. I guess that's.
Yeah.
But it is the way to express his art. So I guess that is the muse doing her job. I do like Gene Kelly's character. I'm a big fan of Gene Kelly's musicals.
He's a good actor, and he actually acts in this movie. Look at that. Yeah, yeah.
So he writes a charm. Something like these ratings and attempt to go Price is Right style. Um,
Fine, whatever. No one's keeping track.
Go 7.5 out of 10.
All right. Uh, Dialogue. You can go first. The quality and naturalness of the conversation. So, is a good dialogue that you would tell your friends about.
It's gonna be stretch. I don't like this category for musicals like this because big chunk of the movie they don't talk, they sing.
That can count towards dialogue in extent. But, yeah.
Fine. There's a problem with pacing in this movie. It's on the review section. I read that there's actually the guy who did the worked on the musical of Xanadu because it is turned into a Broadway musical years later after the film.
Hmm.
And he said when he was watching the movie, you could see the people, creative people behind that. You could see the cocaine with the creative people, and just there's way too many. There's a lot of songs, and it's like insane pace trying to keep up with them, and crazy things happen in each one, which I
Yep.
guess falls into the dialogue. Some of the songs are good, and some of the songs are bad, but then the actual dialogue and then the songs feel like they're ramped up to 11 speed wise. So I don't know. I do like some of the songs a lot, especially the ELO ones. Uh, I don't know. So I would rate the songs higher, and then the dialogue's awful. If it was just the lines, be a very low score. So it balances out. Like the songs would be seven-ish, and the dialogue would be one-ish. So because I just want to call an example. I'm not going long, but
Okay, go ahead.
Sonny makes fun of what's his name? Oh, Simpson. Uh, his boss, because he uses cliches to say like, "I need this. I can't make. Don't try to make Tuesday into Wednesday or something like that." And Sonny repeats them multiple times in dialogue when he's describing how much he hates Simpson, his boss.
Yeah.
There's just lame stuff like that when Sunny talks.
Yeah.
I go 4 from the with the songs better than the talking.
God, if I was rating music and musicals as quote unquote dialogue is kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense. But I love the songs in this movie. There's one slow ELO song they play during the cartoon fishes part that I didn't like as much, but every other ELO song was amazing. And then I love Olivia Newton-John's songwriting slash singing voice. So I give the music like a freaking 9, especially in comparison to the rest of the movie. But I mostly agree with what you said. The dialogue is practically meaningless. Another example that I was kind of not exactly aggravated, but was aware of was when God, the names Danny or Gene Kelly was talking to Sonny, and there'd be dialogue where Sonny would say like, "Oh, this club has potential," and then Gene Kelly would be like, so does a proton or something. I can't think of an actual example, but it was just Gene Kelly just kept making jokes off of things Sonny said that if you took them literally would be like building this club is a horrible idea and we should never even bother and blah blah blah. But of course they do build the club anyway. So just total filler, total like let's do the stuff that's funny. Maybe Gene Kelly pitched some of that. I doubt. I don't. That's total speculation, but yeah, the dialogue for me there's the amiability to it. Like I did like how even though it was plotting and generic, Sonny and Kira talking about their love for each other, especially Sonny, because that guy's a good actor and he is incredibly handsome. So it boosted a little bit. So I give it like a 4.5 because I'm used to this bad movie dialogue and at times it was less unbearable compared to freaking Can't Stop the Music. It's light years ahead of the game, in my opinion. But yeah, yeah. So time for everyone's favorite part of the show, the structure worksheet, where I ask Marcus a series of questions about structure, his structure grade. I have answers for some of these. Do you remember the opening image of Xanadu? Because I do.
I believe it's Gene Kelly playing the clarinet. Wait, I was watching this. I was thinking about this question.
Yes.
Technically, the opening image is. Well, I guess you mean after the credits, I assume, right?
I think in my case, I may have used the credits because they showed live action footage of the characters in the movie.
Because isn't it's the globe? They do a music thing with the globe and then a bunch of credits.
No, that was after that.
Isn't it Gene Kelly on the beach playing clarinet for a split second or something?
Maybe I missed that. What I had was they did this like montagey thing where it was all the muses on the pier and they like pop up and they start skating around. So okay, one of those. Fair enough. Here's a question for you because there's two choices, but maybe there's not. But maybe there's even three choices. But in my opinion, it's either uh, Sunny or Kira. Who do you think is the protagonist of Xanadu? Or is it both? Or Gene Kelly? Or
I guess it's Sunny. I think it technically works out that Kira is the ultimate manic-haired pixie or whatever the
Manic
influence
Pixie Dream
influence
Girl?
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
main character.
Yeah, it's weird. They kind of have both ways because like we would describe, the muse thing is literally unattainable and visual only, and then it becomes romantic, and then she promises she has to leave at the end, then she comes back. Uh, anyway, so what is the ordinary world in for Sunny?
He's not doing well. Well, he's an artist. And he's not doing too artistically or financially because when we first meet him, he's forced to go back to his job he hates to paint those uh, giant album covers
which
because he
confusing.
says he doesn't explain exactly what he tried to do in his own, but he tried to go on his own and he didn't make enough money, so he has to go back to a job he hates with a boss he hates. Um,
Yeah.
just not doing well.
This movie's kind of unusual because they describe how he wanted to be an artist and he wasn't, and then they don't really get back to his real art. They kind of do. He starts painting on the recreations and stuff, but yeah, usual movie, he'd have an art gallery or something, but yep. But I agree. The painting, blow up painting thing is depressing and weird. So I guess the answer is the next question. What does he need to do to improve his life or get out of the things that are bad in his life?
Well, like I said, he was not doing well, so he has to start doing better financially to get out of his life, and it magically works its way out through the movie
Yep.
that he
So
meets a rich, retired band leader turned construction mogul on the beach who meets Sonny and likes Sonny enough and trusts his vision to start a club together.
yep, and that's the change that happens. I guess they try to make it a combination of seeing Kira and being inspired by his chase for her, which does happen. Chasing Kira leads to the beach where he sees Gene Kelly playing clarinet on a rock, which is enough of a meet cute for them to become best friends. Basically, off that, Gene Kelly never sees his paintings or anything like that. Yeah. So after the protagonist is in quote unquote in the movie, what are the fun and games? The entertaining activity promised by the poster. It didn't crop very well on my picture, but it's behind me. The poster is Olivia Newton's giant ghost head floating in front of what becomes the theater.
I
So what
think
is
it is
that?
a theater, then it turned into a club, but yeah. Well, I guess it's a theater slash club.
Yeah, a club that has a bunch of audacious Broadway musical numbers. But so, how does that reflect Sonny's fun and games? Like, what's entertaining about building the theater?
It's chasing a pretty girl around to do it. Um,
It doesn't make a lot of sense because most of the theater's work literally is Gene Kelly, but he also is also chasing Kira at the same time. So I guess it's kind of both.
yeah, that ends up in a way being the bond between Danny and Sonny is they both, well, Danny did know and Sonny now knows Kira. Um, yeah,
Yep.
that's probably why he's so willing to open the club with him. He, like you said, never saw his art. Um,
He keeps saying that too, like, "Oh, you're a real artist. I could tell," but he doesn't. It's just like passing conversation.
yeah, maybe he's met other people who've met Kira in his life. I don't know. He likes to work with them or something. I don't know.
Oh, another thing that's kind of clever, but the movie doesn't quite fully pay off on it, is that the poster behind me with the pretty face drawn on the picture of the theater, it is kind of reminiscent of what Sonny does at work, which is he starts drawing Kira's face on an album cover when he's not supposed to, and he gets yelled at by that weird sad sack boss with
He
the
is supposed to
beard.
draw her face because that's the album cover they choose,
Okay, but the
but
movie,
he's too detailed with it.
the movie is sort of hinting at the artistic nature of Sonny's life. I don't know how helpful that is of an illusion, but you could draw that metaphor. Uh, so, what obstacle comes in to potentially ruin the positivity gained by Sunny's fun and games?
Um,
Is that Kira getting summoned back to Greek world or whatever that was?
yeah, eventually, and he's continually frustrated by her because it takes forever to learn her name. She won't invite him
with my hand
Oh
up.
my god.
to her house, etc. So he wants both things. He wants to have a club that he can have fun and express himself with, because he does have creative control with Gene Kelly. But Kira's a big part of it, and she's ghosting him to a certain extent. She disappears and then reappears, disappears, reappears, and it's frustrating for him. So yes, that's the obstacle. I mean, it's not as dramatic as other movie obstacles because it is a lighthearted musical.
Yeah.
But
So is the idea like uh she gets to go in and give artists their muse moment, but then she has to leave, like because
you know
that's
how
what
she
Gene
did with
Kelly.
Danny.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
She she helped him, including singing on his songs.
yeah,
Uh, a great big band, and then that's it. He had to go into construction because Kira left him.
yeah. And then I guess the motivating action that allows the protagonist to sort of change the course and go after what he wants is just literally he goes into the hole in the pier where it's like disco lights and Zeus talks to the muses.
Yes, I guess I was expecting to bounce off it, to be honest, when he first tried. Maybe he'd try again for some reason. But I hope he gets it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it was very. The movie does that. Well, the movie. I don't know if the movie does that a lot. That in that scene, it's sort of like Zeus is like, "Oh no, I can't possibly do anything." Blah blah blah, and I'm gonna kill you now. And then uh, Sonny's like, "Please, just give us like one more dance." And then Zeus is like, "Okay," and then that's pretty much it. It's very abrupt conflict resolution, all dialogue based. You don't even see Zeus. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
You don't see Zeus and the unnamed woman who turns up, I guess, because I guess at some point, I guess it's a given. You have to read about it after to completely figure it out that, and you have to understand Greek history or learn about Greek history that Zeus and Men, Nam, Mnemosyne
I know what you mean, but yeah, I don't know.
is the mother of the muses. Zeus and Mnemosyne fathered and mother all nine muses.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she's the woman bickering with Zeus about give those two lovebirds a chance, Zeus. And then he goes, oh, okay, I'll give him a moment. Or maybe forever. Wink, wink.
That's to be the lamest depiction of Zeus in movie history. That's it. I don't know. I'm gonna think of Disney and Clash of the Titans, but
Universal picture. Universal in this case, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is a weird one. How is the protagonist's world different in the end compared to the beginning? I feel like you don't know exactly. I guess he gets to live in this rich nightclub with Gene Kelly, but that's all sort of like implied or quickly
Yes.
shown in the background.
You know, it's not that hard. This is an easy one. Yes, the club is a success. They're building up to this opening night. They keep talking about, I hope it's a success, I hope it's a success, and then it is. Although the roller skating is really lame on the opening night, so who knows, is it really a success? But um the Xanadu song's a banger. And then he does get the girl in a weird way. It's a ver
But yeah, that's
well, we don't know for certain what's gonna happen, but the waitress is Olivia Newton-John. So it's Kira in a way that maybe they could spend the rest of their life together. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the weird thing is because that's the last image of the movie is he's trying to but instead of like kissing her or something like that, he goes like, "I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you," and she sort of like winks to the camera,
Yeah.
and it's
And
like
actually,
they should have kissed.
and it fades to as it goes to credits, and I think it goes for a little bit that they're talking without seeing what they're saying, or with the credits going over them. So
Does that mean romantic consummation, like conversation? I don't
they
know.
seem happy. So maybe she's had her memory wiped or something, or is a clone with her memory wiped. Possibilities are endless because they don't tell you what's the nature of
Yeah,
Kira's waitress character.
and it's kind of funny to me that because Sunny's pleading for one more dance or night or whatever with Kira, and then he just sort of watches her do a Broadway number. Like, is that satisfying for Sunny?
Which number was that?
There was she came back to the club and they did the Xanadu number with the dancing and the roller skating in the club.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very to state the obvious. It's kind of an asexual ending for a romantic film in general. I guess it's good for kids. I guess is that what they're thinking? Must be. It's very. I guess old school musicals did stuff like that. They don't have like making out at the end of the romantic movie or whatever. I guess. All right. So Marcus, you had to give the structure score out of 10. What would you give it?
The what?
Structure of the movie. We talked about the beats of it.
Uh, I did watch this by myself, and I did watch it quietly, but I could have shouted, "What is happening?" a lot during this movie because while the animation is good, uh, that was bizarre. It just felt like anytime I started a number, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. I don't, it wasn't like, sh I don't mean like shocking, like cutting off heads or anything. Pretty banal behavior, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's like cocaine again. It's just so much color and movement and different things. And
Mhm.
just, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. Gene Kelly trying all those clothes to around the world. It's just, and stuff like that. It's just,
Oh my god, terrible song choice. It didn't even apply to anything.
there's people of different colors and style and clothes with different styles around the world, so I guess it kind of fits. But it's not, it's musicals have this problem in general, and this is to 11 to 15 on a scale of 10. Again, with the pacing. So it's not structured very well. There was some enjoyability to it, but structure's terrible. I'll give it a two.
Yeah, I'll even go so far as to give it a. I was gonna say 0, but it's not like unwatchable or anything. I'll give it a 1, cause yeah, it doesn't really serve a romantic outcome. It doesn't really serve like dramatic satisfaction of the ending, and things just sort of get in the way of enjoying the characters or learning more about them. So I think it's wholly unsuccessful. I do enjoy the movie, but it's more of like a kaleidoscope of things I like and actors I like, not so much the story. Welcome back to the show. Let's warm up again. Time for making barnyard animal noises. These games are so developed. Okay. The cow goes. "Meow."
Mm.
The chicken goes. The rooster goes. You do it.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh yeah. The goat goes. And then the sheep goes. And the shepherd goes, "Good lamb, you watch it."
Stupid, stupid dogs. Stop hurting the sheep better.
God damn son. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. All right. So we just rated structures, Xanadu. So randomly, here's where I put the trivia break. We've had editorial decisions, aka conversation with our mother, and Marcus, you get to answer some trivia questions. So speaking of Xanadu, in Xanadu, Kublai Khan did a stately pleasure dome decree, according to what poet?
William Blake.
Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Uh,
Samuel Taylor Coleridge is associated with what movement of literature?
what's coming to mind? I don't think it's literature. It's impressionism.
Did the song That's What I Like About You?
That's what I like about. Oh, romanticism.
The yes, I always heard romantic by itself, but I don't know. What animal caused romantic poet and fan of slant rhyme William Blake to ask, "What a mortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Respect my symmetry."
Tiger.
Yes, spelled with a Y, according to William Blake. Yes. One of Tony the Tiger's voices was what mustachioed WCW commentator? His last name sounds like a highly ranked military officer in France.
I don't remember this. I don't think anyone should remember this. We watched his brilliant work before, but I don't know. I'll say Thurl Ravenscroft because it's not, but he's the better one. But
Should I give you a clue with the military ranking? Because it's Lee Marshall.
let me say France.
Yes, France gives their military rank a marshal on the top of the military.
Huh.
Next question. Lee Marshall was not a marshal, nor does he have much in common with what head of Vichy France and direct predecessor of Charles de Gaulle in the 1940s, the so-called Lion of Verdun.
Is that Dupin?
No, you're kind of close sounding name, but whatever. The answer is Henri Philippe Pétain. Pétain.
Okay.
All right. I'll go first on back to regular categories or whatever. The pacing of the movie, we kind of talked about this at length. The pacing is absurd. It just seems that after a while go into special effects sequences they commission in advance, like most infamously, as you mentioned, the Disney fish sequence, and yeah, uh, the only positive for pacing, aside from like well choreographed musical numbers, maybe, or it's like an hour and a half long movie, so that pacing is a okay with me. I'll give it like a six just because of that. But yeah.
Can I give it a six? Wikipedia has a section on musical numbers, and there's 20, and it feels like there's 20 musical numbers slammed into a 96-minute movie. This did not trust, or I guess didn't even bother to think about, I guess it's like trust, the small talk in between musical numbers at all. Um, musical numbers, maybe I guess for some fans of musicals, they want nothing but musical numbers for a feature-length movie. I maybe for a better movie it'd be like that, but they're so jarring in comparison, and you don't have time to recover from the previous one when a new one starts. Pacing is horrible. 0.5 out of 10.
Definitely enjoyed the music on its own merit
Well,
a
I
lot more than you
did
did.
too, like enjoy it, but just the pacing is out of control. Going down Mount Everest in a car with the brakes slashed. It's just
Suppose it's a mediocre '80s movie. They all have these problems, but
I don't. I've seen a lot of mediocre 80s movies, and
all
none of
right.
these are Warp Speed 10 like this.
Yeah, I think we both agree that it's not like a normal movie or a good movie in that respect. But yeah, uh, you can start first on the tone. I guess basically whether you liked it, the mood and feeling of it. It's a little, yeah.
Um, most musicals are pretty lighthearted, unless it's something like Les Mis, where it's obvious death and destruction uh, clearly involved in the plot. Um, so the tone's a mess as a result, kind of, because the movie wants you to feel sad that Sonny doesn't get Kira at various points, but that was like 2 minutes after Gene Kelly's wearing a cowboy outfit and swinging a lasso. So it's just
Yeah.
the tone's not really set in place. Because I think with tone, you kind of want consistency. Um, so this movie does kind of come more art house in a way with how
Okay.
surreal the tone is.
It's kind of like a black box theater thing because they don't really show like ancient Greece or anything.
Okay, film school graduate. What does black box mean?
The black box is a style of theater that intentionally avoids spending any money on a theatrical production. You just literally go in a room and it's either black walls or you paint them black, and that's the entire set. And every scene plays against that. So by having the Greek thing basically be a black hole with some disco that never even gets close to alluding to Mount Olympus or Greece, it sort of reminded me of that sort of like theater of the mind. The acting is the setting. Yeah,
Yeah, especially like that's the number with I believe it's the tubes themselves playing the rock song, and then there's the jazz band, and they merge together at the end.
yeah,
Um, but it was pretty called Black Box because it did cost 20 million to make this movie
yeah.
in 1980 money.
And I call it a black box, but for the Greek stuff, they probably used expensive effects to make the walls glow or whatever.
A lot of actually pretty nice visual effects in the movie.
Those Disney fishes, despite me thinking that scene was pointless, were very well drawn.
And it was cheesy, I guess, but when she starts roller skating and then goes super speed and the light effect behind her, I like that effect.
Got a little annoying when the beginning of the movie when it was like they were zooming across the dock and it was like zoom, zoom, cut, zoom, zoom. It's a little like I get it. So anyway, do you give a rating to tone?
Oh, sorry. I think I got distracted, but what you want consistency with tone, so I'll go with, but it's fine. It's a musical, so I'll give it some leeway, but like a three.
Yeah, like we're saying, the positive tone is the romantic longing that Sunny has for Kira. I thought that was surprisingly authentic. Um, Otherwise, the tone is crazy because you got Gene Kelly doing stand up for large parts of the movie, just old people jokes. And then the weirdest tone to me, it's not that long in the movie, but it's kind of like the dramatic in the dramatic core part is when Sonny's talking to Simpson, his boss, and I guess they liked the pitter patter of Simpson's dialogue because he should have just been like a mean jerk who's like, stop doing art, do the thing, and then but he's like kind of sensitive and it never pays off, and it's just like the movie just sort of seems to pick its tone as it goes along and scene to scene, and the Zeus stuff should have been. I would have loved to sets in ancient Greece just to be like, this is real, and the stakes are bigger, but the movie feels so small. I think that reflects in the tone. I don't know if that reflects the tone or not, but yeah, tone's terrible. I'll give it. I'll only go as high as a 4.5 because there's a pleasantness to it, but you have to go in knowing it's not going to be like a good movie tone. All right, I'll go first on the originality of the story. Uh, this movie is surprisingly original, and not just in the whole like it's wacky shit that doesn't make sense. That's original, but that too, like that their love sequence in the middle is punctuated by cartoon fish. I keep talking about that, but I thought um, the use of ELO's music as score worked really well, except for the fashion part and the fish part. Anyway, and the tubes are cool, and I love her singing voice. So I thought, as like an MTV montage of music, this was top notch. So regardless of the weirdness of the movie, with its solid effects but sort of meandering plot, I'm gonna go really high on this. It's like 8.5, just because I was surprised at how not terrible it looked and felt with the original stuff.
What's the category title for this one?
Originality, how unique and fresh you felt the movie felt.
Uh, I'll give it a 10. It's not derivative of anything, so very, very original. In fact, too original because I don't like watching people skate. Well, skateboarding would be more entertaining, but roller skating, I don't get the appeal of watching that. But it is not a lot of movies about skating.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I mean, well, Starlight Express was about roller skating. I don't know. I'm not an expert in roller skating films. It's bigger in the 70s and 60s. Next topic for you. Well, we know this movie was not marketable in a historical sense, but give me your rating for how marketable you think this would be. I guess if you had to like take this exact concept and remake it or something, I don't know. Any thoughts on marketability? Go.
I don't know. Well, I don't understand this category. So is it about how it was marketed in the public? Because obviously I wouldn't know about that.
No, this is going off traditional, real script reading. So you read a script that's never been produced before, and you're telling your boss specifically, "This will make money." So it's the hardest one to grade, honestly. But yeah, yeah,
I guess the potential marketability would be um well, Living in John, obviously, because the poster is her floating head. Uh, and I guess, yeah, at the time, kind of like Can't Stop the Music, but this is more logical. Well, in hindsight, more logical. I don't think anyone re could really predict how harsh the backlash and how quick it would be against disco, but something like Can't Stop the Music. Uh, I, it still feels pretty niche. I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, you did have Grease right before this, which was I assume made tons of money. Or at least has a positive view in the looking back on it film wise. So you think he could kind of make another Grease?
yeah.
And I guess ELO signed on, so people like ELO, I guess, and Gene Kelly to get all the people who love classic film buffs who love Singing in the Rain and all, and American in Paris. Uh, but then the actual, I said the film art film. I think they should have saw that coming. That it's kind of niche. People want to watch it, and I believe it's a movie that's aged well in terms of being a cult classic because of the how niche and unique it is.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm surprised it technically made a movie solely based on made a profit based on production, 23 million versus 20 million budget. But it got marketing was probably much more than that, so it lost money, but the 3 million difference. But marketability is 2.5 because I the numbers within are not seem difficult to market to me, but
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on marketability because just my personal marketability toward because aside from the fact I'm watching every Razzie movie or whatever, I knew this movie was going to have original music by ELO, which we're a big band and not just in a niche time, 70s pop radio, and Olivia Newton-John, who was an excellent singer songwriter for a very long time, got songs by them, and that's really it. I think in a different world, you could make a better movie, like I said, where you show ancient Greece and it's like Earth versus Greece in a battle for true love and time travel but the movie hints at, in theory, at some of that. It does not pay it off. Uh, I think Gene Kelly would have been marketed as super old even then because he was super old then, which makes sense. He's not dead yet, and uh, and I liked Warrior Guy a lot as an actor. I think he did deserve better in this movie. But
Michael Beck.
yeah, he's not a household name at the time or now, especially now. Uh, but I did enjoy the musical thing. But it's not a pure music film. It's a musical, but it's not a you know images set to music. Not a music video. So yeah, it's kind of low. But I have a soft spot for it because, but it's not really marketability. It's like a short, positive messages, good music. I think it would kind of get lost in the shuffle. So I'm with you. Well, the price is right at three out of 10, but it's kind of a hot mess. But I would still kind of recommend it. But that's not. But I feel like a very niche description of why I like it. So yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So the last one, which I will start with, the conflict in the movie. How well did they present a struggle or tension that audiences would relate to or something? Uh, it's pretty bad. Yeah, feels like the movie sort of shortcuts a lot of the struggle. Like he loses Kira, she's always sort of around. And they sort of hook up, and then he gets her back for one more dance, and they resolve it almost instantly at the end of the movie in a confusing way. So, and yeah, there's no tension with Sunny and uh, James.
Kira?
No, the other one.
Danny?
Yeah, Sunny and Danny have no drama at all. I know they're not the romantic leads. Maybe they should have been Hollywood, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so meandering, safe, very safe, non-conflict type movie. Even like I said, the boss and the guy don't argue. When why are we making the boss look good? So it was like a 1 out of 10. I was so past the plot of this movie.
Yeah, you can detect some tension. You can relate to. I don't think Simpson's portrayed that well, but the boss. They specifically say, he specifically says in a scene talking to Sonny, that's why I stopped being an artist and I got a different job so I can make money. And so he's an obvious setup
Yeah,
corporate guy. So there's that conflict. Uh, the con there is a romantic conflict, but it feels particularly flighty. Uh, Probably because Sonny comes off as a very attractive bachelor, and there's no talk he wants to start a family or uh, find someone for marriage, it's like a lifetime commitment. So it's a flighty chase of the hot chick he just met. Um,
yeah,
so he's not, if he loses her, which becomes pretty clear he won't. I mean, nothing bad will happen. And he conveniently can jump into a mural to keep chasing her. I don't know. So it's uh yeah, And yeah, in terms of tension, it doesn't help how supportive Danny is of Sonny. Because I believe in the club, when about before he jumps into the mural, he's in the club with. He says, I gotta go," and then he says something like, "Oh, I can relate. You gotta go chase the girl." And so they could have had a double face conflict, but they chose not to. So
Yeah.
there's a little silly workplace conflict and silly. It's really low, one or two. So one is fine.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, the joy in the movie is the visuals slash music, and then the plot just sort of intervenes. But yeah. So let's talk about the what happened with the Razzie Awards. This one's kind of spicy because yeah, we'll see. Uh, it was nominated for Worst Picture, lost to our previous episode, Can't Stop the Music. I think both are fair.
Can't Stop the Music was worse.
I agree.
I was just very lead built to that, but I compare the two movies, but I enjoyed this more than Can't Stop the Music. So
The one that's ridiculous to me, I'm not a fan of his work on this or anything, but Robert Greenwald won Worst Director. Nancy Walker was nominated but did not win. How does Nancy Walker not win? She's a famous actress and her movie sucked and she sucked directing it.
uh it's the pace and the what the fuck is happening thoughts.
I felt, well,
Directors get killed for that critically all the time.
I suppose. I felt Nancy Walker was much worse at getting her actors to be motivated. Anyway, Michael Beck was nominated but did not win for Worst Actor. Give me a break. Easily the best part of the movie, acting wise.
No, Gene Kelly's better.
I was gonna say actually, I think Newton John's better than Kelly too, but it's fair. It's a contentious debate.
Yeah, I could see why Michael Beck got nominated because he does come off as a pretty boy, a lot of depth. But
He's
that's
good
more
at
of a writing problem
he's good at
than
line reading,
a.
especially the dramatic, the sad parts with the girl and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he. Yeah, I don't, well, I guess he didn't do a good job being that sad. So maybe it's fair that he got nominated and didn't win. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then Olivia Newton-John was nominated for Worst Actress. Feels unnecessary to me, but
It's really harsh. She's doing Olivia Newton-John things. You loved it in Greece, and now you hate it. And it's just like you don't like this, but I kind of have a problem with the Razzies.
we're gonna be talking about for the next 30 years, or whatever. But yes, I agree. I do agree that it's kind of a blanket thing where the movie's bad. The movie's bad, so that everyone gets in. I'm not a fan of that. Be more creative, Razzies. And then Richard Danis and Mark Rubel were nominated for Worst Screenplay, but lost to Bronte Woodward and Alan Carr for last week's episode. Can't Stop the Music.
Uh,
Sorry to compare.
Screenplay feels easier to write in Xanadu because there's 50 billion music numbers, and I guess you're more of a writer than I am. When you write, I mean, but you probably never written a musical. Do you just say musical and then the music the whoever does the music for the movie will fill in the music in the screenplay?
You can. Usually that works on more of a TV show like Glee or something, where there's a direct relationship between the music production and the writing. So I imagine, I don't know. I mean, I'd be fascinated to read any screenplay like that or
Well,
this.
the writing in Can't Stop Music like that too, but
Yeah, Can't Stop the Music had a little bit more of like putting on a show, songs about, well, that's not, well, yeah, mostly songs about the band putting on songs. This was definitely a little more freeform. And speaking of music, Suspended in Time, the ballad Olivia Newton-John sings in the Greek disco God Zone while alone, was nominated for Worst Song but did not win. And I can't play it on the podcast, but Marcus, listen to this after the podcast. It's a great song, tougher game. I love all of Olivia Newton-John's songs, but this song's good too. Bullshit, bullshit.
I remember that scene in the didn't really leave a mark. I can barely remember that song.
I think you appreciate it more on its own merits as opposed to in the middle of the movie. But just my opinion. I like her voice a lot and her
I didn't
songwriting.
like the visuals behind it, just watching yellow special effects with her standing there singing.
Yeah, that disco wall with the holes in it and the strobing lights.
The Tron-like grid, but more distracting and almost shiny.
Yeah, it was bad. Song was good. All right. Before we wrap things up on this week's episode, any general? I have one thing I want to say. Do you have any general talking points you want to say about the movie that didn't come up in the other stuff?
This are you talking about like our score because I can kind of cover everything in that. Or
No, no, no. I mean, this is before ranking the movie or scoring or whatever. Just any like things you want to talk about that you noticed in the movie that didn't come up as a result of
I did find out that Fat Tony himself, Joe Mantegna, had a part in this movie, and it got cut entirely. It was a small part, and they cut him out. Apparently, he's in the credits. I didn't catch that. Um, so he got paid, but um,
yeah. I just want to because we didn't exactly harp on this a ton. We did address it kind of that the end of the movie when it's like Olivia Newton-John gets her one more night and she translates that into singing. It was really ridiculous because she does a song. I don't remember multiple songs, and then at the end, first there's a punk song or pop song or whatever you call it, and then there's a country song.
hmm very quick, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very abstract. Kind of sticks out from the rest of the movie, even in a movie like this. But yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a musical version of the clothing store scene where he's goes from a cowboy outfit to other types of outfits. I don't know.
Yeah, that I did not think about the ramifications of that. Like, why does Gene Kelly need to know what he looks like in a cowboy outfit in a movie about a dance club? But
It's being silly.
hilarious. All
It's
right,
like
all
it's an
right.
it's like art version of vomit where it's just as many things we throw on the screen as possible at all times.
Yep, we got an hour and a half runtime. We got to get to the hour and a half runtime. All right, that's it. So, here's how we're gonna do the end of first of all, we're gonna end this movie. So basically, yeah, fine. You do one sentence score, and is it better or worse than Can't Stop the Music? Go.
I'm not doing this, well, I guess one sentence, so it's not words this time, at least.
Or no word limit. Well, make it reasonable.
Yeah, it's hard to get too much into specifics, but kind of hinting at with the pace and everything, it's a hot mess. But I think it's a hot mess that everyone should see. It's very memorable and unique. Uh, on that note, for being memorable, I'll give it a seven. There's a lot of plot, there's a lot of issues, but I'll give it a seven. And then it is significantly better than Can't Stop the Music.
I agree. My read is pretty similar to yours. Like I've been saying this whole time, the parts I liked about this movie was musical and visuals based, with a little bit for sexy warriors actor, and the plot is incredibly uneven and boring, but the spectacle and God, those songs. You just listen to those songs by themselves. That'd be almost be better than the movie. Uh, so I'll go a little lower than you. I'll say like uh, 6 out of 10. I'm not sure what I give Can't Stop the Music, but I agree. Just on a visual quality, like artistic merit, as loopy as this movie is, Can't Stop the Music is bullshit. So it's like a 70s grain looking piece of crap. So yeah, so far we have Can't Stop the Music as the worst. Will our next movie defeat it? Wait, what is the next movie? Okay, Marcus, I'm gonna give you a fact about a movie. You guess what it is, rapid fire, until you get it. Okay?
Okay.
Stars Al Pacino.
Serpico?
Directed by William Friedkin.
I knew Serpico's directed by Lumet. Whatever. Uh, what else was Pacino this time? Author?
Is highly rebuked by modern audiences nowadays because of its depictions of homosexuality in nightclubs. It's a movie about gay
Oh,
romance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cruising?
That's right. Next week we're watching a movie that on paper sounds better, but it could be much worse. We'll find out next week when we're cruising on a Razzie movie time. All right. Until then, when you see a twin, give him a bell because he's a broke stand-up comedian. That's me and Marcus. See you next time on Twin Bill Razzie Mania.
Good night, everyone.
Book me on your shows, or let's be best friends and hang out. Maybe I don't know.